All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast with no name. We're episode number 3 on my channel this week, and it's been a pretty uneventful few days since the last time we recorded. I don't know about you guys.
It's been a great few days.
Let's hear about it.
I didn't train today, so I could be here with y'all.
Just took the whole day off for an hour podcast.
Mentally preparing.
Just prepping.
Trying to get that microphone working.
Yeah.
And we are 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
Hey.
We got it, though. We're here. We're just working out all the kinks, before Wadapalooza. And then after Wadapalooza, we're going to have that. Actually, at Wadapalooza, we're going to have it dialed.
It is going to be dialed.
I don't know if Dallas told you guys, but I think he's trying to get 4 cameras. So then we'll have like one wide shot and then a camera on each of us. And then he'll have like a switchboard, and he's going to try to like switch it around, make it like official.
Like the official ones.
Official ones.
Like the ones you see on the internet, and you're like, that's a podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be us soon. But yeah, it'll be fun.
So I was actually just listening to the Mayhem podcast today, and they've definitely got a switchboard. They've got to figure it out. But I was listening to the Mayhem podcast because yesterday Jason and I both posted that we'll be going to the Mayhem Classic.
I'm so excited.
I get a text message around like 4 o'clock. Hey, Dallin's telling me to post to scare people away.
I'm just let people know that I'm gonna be there.
I really don't
take
think
a spot, so you're gonna have to go beat Jason.
I really don't think people are looking at us posting and saying, I'm not doing that now.
Hey, I think so. You guys are intimidating, You guys got that. Do you guys know anybody else that's like committed to doing it? Or like I haven't really paid attention to it.
The only person I would imagine is Roman, that I know for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, his home gym.
That's the first one, right? Like the first
those are the first 2
qualify.
spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is
It's
crazy.
a good time.
Yeah. So
it's early April, correct?
It's like the 5th and 6th, I think.
Heck yeah.
It's like it's pretty quick.
Did y'all watch the 2020 Classic?
Some of it.
Mayhem Classic?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I remembered like certain workouts and stuff, but nothing specifically.
I feel like they did a pretty good job at it, though.
Yeah, Matt was there.
I mean, I think it's going to be really good.
Matt was there coaching Cole Grieshaber.
Wow.
Yeah, at the 2021.
Did you guys compete?
I didn't. I was the only one I was invited to that year was the Atlas Games, and then we talked about that. But
yeah, how that worked out.
But yeah, it sounds like it's just going to be a lot of fitness. And like on the podcast, I heard Rich say, if you don't want to do any weird skills, come to the Mayhem Classic. So.
Hey, sign me up.
What, you guys aren't athletes? You guys can't freaking adapt and overcome?
It's just pullovers, right? Right, Jason?
Those are so lame.
All right, I got something on this. So, like, I don't know about me, or I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, when I look back at, like, previous games and stuff like that, like, my favorite events are the weird ones. Like obviously in the moment. To an extent. Yeah, I mean, obviously to an extent, but, like, when I look back on some of those experiences, like, it's crazy. I mean, like, my first year at the games, the ranch run, like, obviously it was awful in the moment, but, like, to look back, it's like, dude, they're never going to be able to do that again. And, like, to be a part of that was just freaking epic. I mean, you look back at, like, the OG games and all that stuff, like, there's so many epic moments. And I felt like the 2020 games was just, like, a little bit of part of that where you got to, like, turn around, do the run again. It was, like, crazy.
No, that was definitely cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, here would be, like, the flip example.
You think the ranch run is the same thing as pullovers?
No, I'm getting there. I'm just working through my first games and building my way up. But then I think it was in 2021 they released the freestanding handstand push-up for the first time, and like that was wild. To like we like all sat on the stairs. Dave came in, they're telling us the next workout. I'm pretty sure like Heat 1 has to like like their check-in or like call time is in like 30 or 40 minutes as they're announcing this workout that we have no idea what it is.
That was me.
I want to hear
like,
Jason's point of view after this.
Oh yeah. And then we go and they announce it and they're like freestanding handstand push-ups, which like everyone's like starstruck like at that. And then they're like trying to go through the standard, and the standard's like kind of complicated because they had all those tape lines a foot apart, and the rep starts is bottom to bottom, and then you have to like push into a handstand, put both hands on the next line with them locked out, and then descend into a handstand, which like no one was really doing that. They just kind of like came up and
crazy.
Yeah, and then come down, and like they're doing it. Like the demo person did a good job, but like they're still falling and stuff, and we're just kind of sitting there like finish this brief so we can get and like start practicing. At least that's where my mind was at. And I remember like by the time I started warming up, I had like 40 minutes until my call time. I just did 40 minutes of handstand push-ups. I'm pretty sure the deadlift was at 405. I didn't touch the deadlift bar once in the warm-ups. I was just like trying to figure out this handstand push-ups, walk out into the competition floor, like start the workout with like 6 pulls, like cold as at 405 on the floor. And like, it honestly worked out really good. I got robbed, I feel like, of an event win on that one. I don't know if anybody remembers the finishing to that one, but we're like going, and every time you fail, your judge is supposed to tell you like what line to go to. And we're doing that the whole way through. And it ended with like 16 reps. And I did, like, he told me I was at 15, but I came down on rep 15 and there was no more lines in front of me. I was like, oh, he must have miscounted. I'm on the last line. Run. So then I went to run, and he called me back and said I had one more, but I was like, there's no more lines. And then it was like, I was hella confused, and then I had to go back, do one more rep. Pat ended up beating me by like 5 seconds. And that's like, me and him are like 1 and 2 on the leaderboard, and this is the final day. Like, every point matters. It was like hectic, but like looking back, I mean, it was like events like that I really enjoy at the games. Like, I feel like that's when you really got to like be an athlete and like adapt to like some of those situations. But I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
what do you guys think?
I was definitely checked out at that time.
See, I was gonna.
That was the second last to workout. I mean, I was like,
yeah,
I was checked out after the rope climb workout on Friday. So I mean, at that point, I didn't really care what was coming up. To be honest with you, like I remember them doing that, and I'm like, dude, like I'm ready to just be home. Like I was like, dude, like I'm checked out. Like, and I think
were you like was it more mental or physical, or like a little bit of both? Like were you just like, dude, my body is like wrecked right now. Like I cannot imagine doing another workout, or was it just like a roller coaster of a weekend for you?
I think it's probably both, because like my mind probably followed my body, and my body probably followed my mind. In that case, I'm like sitting in 19th pretty much the entire week, not, living up to expectations or my own standards and all that stuff. So I'm just like, I'm checked out. And then, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand this, is like, if you're not in any sort of race, it's really hard to be out there at the games, because there's so much that comes with the games, and you got to really be locked in mentally. Yeah. And it's super easy to like look at the leaderboard and be like, okay, there's no chance. There's like, and just keep riding that emotional like roller coaster, especially if you're not in the top 10 or in a race. And it's so easy to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to check, like just just going out there and just getting it done. And there's not a whole lot of adrenaline and like to make you just like want to go out there and like push way beyond the limits. And so by the time I got to that event on my rookie year, I was ready. I was just like over it, ready to be home. And so, but I do remember not being able to do that. And it's just not the handstand workout. It's just like, if you go look at, there's been many workouts over the last few years that I'm just unable to adapt on the fly.
was that same year was the wall walk thruster one, right?
No, that was just hard in general. That was just hard.
I remember.
There's a great picture of you from that workout.
I remember. And I remember I remember going out there and popping my top off, taking my shirt off. And I hear Matt Frazier. I had just met him like a month earlier. I hear him, "Put your shirt back on." I just hear that out of nowhere. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. But it was like right after I took my shirt off. And I'm like, someone must be talking to me because that was definitely at me.
Yeah.
And I remember getting done with that. I'm like, dude, that would have been so much easier with my shirt on. Because
there was no AC, right?
All the sweat was on the mat. And so it was like I was just slipping everywhere.
Yeah, but the AC wasn't working that night in the Coliseum.
Well,
I don't know what was on, but I remember that, and it was like
I remember because I was in the stands. Yeah. Can we go to 2022 now?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting to my point. I just haven't. It's just not the handstand workout. It's just like I don't know why, because it's like I do feel like I'm athletic, but I think what are we defining as athletic? Like the ability to do like skills like that, or the ability to run, jump, and throw? Because that's the athletic that I have. Is I've played sports all my life, so I can run, jump, and throw. I'm athletic in that sense. But I wouldn't say I'm athletic in the sense that I could just pick up a skill on the fly and do pullovers and just have the body awareness.
I think athleticism is being able to adapt, and I think you have really good skills in like throwing and passing or whatever, like the things that you said. That makes sense.
Run, jump, catch a ball, throw a ball. But I don't know how to pull my body around a bar. It takes time.
It does take time. You got it down now, though.
And that's why I want them to release all the events 2 months out.
Yeah, but I do think a big part of the test is the unknowable. And, like, when I at least was, like, looking forward to going to the games, that was, like, the thing that I was so excited about. Because, like, I volunteered in the 2015 games, and it was, like, I think I've gotten a couple of those years kind of mashed together in my mind, but like when they had like the snail for the first time, and then they had like the plow, which was like the like sled that you like kind of had to pick up like a backwards wheelbarrow and pull, and then they had like the workout in the tennis stadium with the sandbags coming down the stadium and the wheelbarrow across. Like those events I really like because it's just like it's CrossFit, but like no one at the games is training that. Yeah, you know, like no one at the gym's training that, so you kind of got to like relate it to some workouts, figure out a good strategy, kind of adapt on the fly, and like put it all together. And I don't think that should be like a whole weekend of competition, but I do think it's an important part of it, you know?
Kind of like the first Rogue event where they have like 10 different sandbags. We
Yeah.
don't know which bags are where, which weights are where. Kind of figure that out. Like that's close, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those events. I mean,
But like those are my favorite. Like anytime someone asks me like, "Hey, what do you look forward to? Like, what are you excited about?"
The new thing.
The what?
Just the new thing.
Yeah, the new thing. Like what twist are we gonna see? And like, I know it was silly, but like the double crossovers were like kind of like a laughingstock when they first did them. But I'm like so irritated they haven't brought them back since, because like everyone can do them now, super good. And, like, it would be really cool to show that, like, that progression, which I feel like that's what CrossFit is like, that, like, progression. And that's one thing that I'm bummed.
But it's a silly movement.
It wouldn't
silly
look silly, though. Doing it, you think we would still look silly doing it again? I feel like I could do them now like regular double unders. Like, it doesn't even look.
If we brought someone who's never watched CrossFit and that was their first event watching us do that, you think they'd just be like.
Except you do have, like, boxers and, like,
yeah, that's
fighters
what I'm saying.
that train that, and they make it look very clean. So like
they do make it look really cool.
It's not a made up movement. We just needed a little more time because
that
as
was
CrossFitters, we're just pretty average at everything.
Yeah, it is crazy when you think about that, though.
Yeah, it's like our running, pathetic.
Yeah.
Our weightlifting, pathetic.
Me and Adam,
our gymnastics, our highest skill, the muscle up. That's how people start routines. Like,
it's crazy. I mean, I always think about it all the time. Like, I've been very fortunate. I've like won the games, but like, it's like I wasn't like the best at something, if that kind of makes sense. You know, like I won the games, didn't even win an event. Like, like there's not even one thing that I was good at, which obviously it's still like an amazing accomplishment. But like when you look at things like that, like our time. I mean, I guess some of the mile times at the games this year, I think were really impressive. So. It's kind of hard now, but like even like a handful of years ago, but it's like a high school girls track meet. It's like that'd be hard to hang with some of those people, you know. And I think like same thing with weightlifting. I mean, like Tia, she competed at what's it called? It's not the Olympics, but like the
Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, the Commonwealth Games. So like we are like really proficient.
We're getting
in
there.
certain,
Yes,
we're getting there, but it is crazy when you look at specialists. Like it's insane, like how far you can move something. But it's when you look at that in training, it's always really interesting too, because like for me this year, I haven't been able to do a lot of running, but now I can like focus on it. And like I just did an 8-week running program, and it was just wild to see how fast I got just in that 8 weeks. You know, just from like spending 8 weeks of focusing on like one thing, which like normally in a CrossFit season, like we have to focus on so many different things. We're just trying to like move everything up a little bit at a time. But if you just like take one thing and like focus on it for a minute, like you can make a lot of progress, which some of the other things might take a hit, but it is really cool to like mess with that in training and stuff. But
you guys were talking about, Jason was talking about his rookie year Sunday. And I also had my rookie year Sunday experience where my body started quitting on me first very quickly, and then my mind was not helping. But roller coaster of a weekend anyway, because like, I mean, I didn't have people predicting me to win like Jason did, but like I expected a lot of myself, and like terrible on some events I thought I would do better on. Couple like a second place, like so some highs. My first 2 nights in the Coliseum was a 38th and a 39th. That's absolutely terrible. And then Saturday night was the sandbag, and in the warm-up area, it was me and you, right, Justin?
yeah,
We were the only ones like just cleanly got the 300-pound bag to our shoulder, like.
yeah.
Not an
I
issue.
was hyped. I'm like, dude, this
Yeah.
is like the first time like guaranteed top 5.
Yeah,
like,
I was
let's
in
go.
the exact same boat. Jason, I don't even think he was lapping the 270 or something. Like
I was missing 240.
Dude.
And so I'm like, this is amazing. Top 5, here I come. I get out there, I miss the 310, and I'm walking like I'm seeing all these other guys that I watched in the warm-up area still out on the floor, and I'm sitting up against the wall on the Coliseum floor for the 3rd night in a row where I'm standing there because elevated Elizabeth, the handstand push-up bike, I'm just standing there. I was doing no work, and I'm just for the 3rd night in the row. And then I woke up the next morning, my back is trashed from the sandbag, like broken. And the first event was the alpaca, but it got taken out of the
rain.
No rope climb. So it was like the kettlebell clean and jerk and the sled. So posterior blown up. I got it warm enough for that. Come in, and then we have the back 9. It was the yoke,
the
deadlift,
yoke, the cleans,
front squat, and it was like pre-workout and ibuprofen, and the deadlifts were at maybe 455. I think I pulled 315 before I walked out on that floor.
Just like,
yep, I'm like, here we go. Final, Jackie.
Those were the hardest cleans of my life.
They were so hard.
yeah.
But Jackie, we have to pull like a 137.5 to get the 1K done in like the cutoff time.
That was rough.
I couldn't pull hard enough because of my back in the warm-up area. I only got it down to a 140. And so, it just
You made the cut. You ended up getting
like I was
down.
fine. I was fine.
Yeah.
But in the warm-up, like normally I can jump on and like getting it to that's no issue.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even get it there in the warm-up area. I'm like, guess we'll see how this goes.
Dude,
that was a really fun week. That week. I mean,
I enjoyed that week.
I really enjoyed.
I had some good moments there.
2023 was also great. But the good news is I started my Coliseum experience 3 back-to-back nights, absolutely terrible, 2 bottom 3 finishes, and my last event in the Coliseum was a win. So
It's epic.
Well done.
Was that
I never
2022?
won in that Coliseum.
2023.
2023. I remember that because I was not in a good spot in 2023 in the last event, and I wasn't even in the final heat. And then I was like kind of in a similar mindset to like what you guys talked about, and I was like, man, I'm just going to go out there. Like, I'm just going to like hit my thrusters. I think I did them unbroken, or at least in really big sets, and I'm just going to like bike what I can. And then I ended up like finishing the workout, and like I don't know if I won my heat, but like I got like 3rd overall. And then Dallin came up to me in the back, he's like, hey man, like, what's the plan for this workout? Like, how'd it go? And I was just telling him what I did and stuff. And
I remember you told me exactly what you did.
Yeah, I told him exactly what I did. It was like, that was like a weird experience for me because I was never in that position my first 3 years at the games. And then like that last year, I was like, man, this is not fun.
Appreciate that.
At least y'all got to do that event.
True. Didn't get cut.
Did not.
It's kind of wild to like think about that. Like, I got cut. It's just kind of weird.
I've accidentally asked Jason, like, what'd you run at the 5K at the games again? Like, just like asking. I was like, I didn't.
I did not.
Dude, but that sandbag story that you said and like getting out early, that storyline of Jason is like the epitome of Jason Hopper as an athlete. Like, I've competed with him so many times, and every single time there's a story like that with Jason. Like, I remember like Syndicate or whatever, the first time we were like the max snatch the first year, you're like failing stuff in the back, and I'm like, yeah, new guy, whatever. Then snatch is like 305, and I'm like, where does this come from? Like, it's crazy. I like PR'd my snatch at 285, still like 9th place. I'm like sick. And then like the following year, at like every single time, you fail in the back, and then you walk out there just like a freaking Superman, and then smash the weights every single time. Happened this year. This year at Rogue was the same thing.
What happened at Rogue?
Remember, I ran through the Echo Bike muscle up snatch, and then you did it after me, and you're warming up your snatches, and you're just failing them.
You missed the 225 snatch right before you started, and you're like, all right, good to go, and started.
I was like, how does that even happen?
I'll tell you why. It's because whenever I'm thinking about the technique, I think about the things too much, and then I'm not actually just letting like the muscle memory aspect take over, and so like I just start missing, and then it's like being back there. It's like I'm thinking way too much, especially in warm ups. Like, oh my goodness, max snatch, like I can't have any mistakes, and then like, I'm thinking about that, and I'm actually making mistakes.
And then I'm on the platform next to you lifting, and so I'm watching you.
Yeah,
practice the event, and then
I'm going up to this bar at like 265, and everybody's watching me, and it's like I'm definitely missing this.
But no,
and then you're like, okay, how can I not miss this? And then I'm thinking about like all the things. All right, think about technique. What did Amy teach me? What did Amy teach me?
At Rogue,
and then I get out there, and all that is kind of like there's so much adrenaline, and I'm like, it's weird because I don't have to like force myself to not think. It's just kind of like everything's happening. Like I just got to go out there and it's just like I don't have a choice. I don't. What?
It's just I don't have to force myself to not think. It comes so easy.
You know what I mean? Like it's so easy just to turn my mind off and just like, all right, like I don't have a choice but to lift this. And there's so many other things out there. The adrenaline takes over. Everything feels so much easier, and I hit PRs.
I just remember at Rogue when we were both practicing that workout on the same day, and you had done it before me, different reps, like, but we're both watching each other do it, and I'm just like how do I one up him without even doing the same reps? Like, how do I make sure he knows? Like,
yeah. I love it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was actually.
Go ahead.
I remember watching you do that, and then there was like the part of me that's like, okay, he went really fast in that, and then the other part of me was like, okay, like I've been through this enough to know like when the clock is start, like we're on the field, like the field, like things are going to be much different than they are in the warm up. So it's like, how do you juggle these two things? Like,
yeah.
All right. Like I know when it matters most, like I'll be all right, but that was fast.
Yeah.
But that was fast. You guys ready for another topic? Because I have one.
Okay.
Also from the Mayhem podcast, I heard from Rich Froning, so you guys cannot quote me on this because it hasn't been officially announced, but we've heard rumors that there will be 11 spots for the online semifinal, right? They did the thing. They did the
Keeps
thing.
getting less and less.
Yeah, so they did the thing where there's like, oh, there's 12 spots remaining for the online semifinal, and then they posted something. Top 11 from the online semifinal get this prize money. And then someone else said, I think it was Dave, that everyone from the online semifinal is going to get prize money. But it's like, what about the 12th person? I heard they're doing an online LCQ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're taking one online competition spot and giving it to another online competition. Let's just keep it at this one, guys. Man.
That's weird.
But, yeah.
You think it's like they do that for the person who's like having a tough week?
I'd be really.
I mean, we have we have all these other competitions. I assumed NorCal was like, that's kind of like the last chance qualifier. It's a month before the games.
Yeah.
It is?
Pretty much. It's like the end of June.
Jeez.
That's
Or
my plan.
middle of June, maybe?
You're doing that
Still,
a month
it's-
before the games?
Yeah. Why not?
Even if you make the online?
Well, we'll see.
I mean, they do
Got to make
have...
the online first. I thought I was going to have 2 friends to do it with, but
I'll definitely be there
I hope so.
to push you because I'll punch my ticket at Mayhem.
We'll test all the workouts.
I'll just be your ghost.
I hope so many people sign up for that one.
The NorCal?
No, the Mayhem one.
So be it.
I just love that you two are doing it.
Yeah,
I literally told him not to.
he did.
Yeah. I
Like,
thought you guys
brother,
were like talking
brother,
like, hey man, I'm
brother.
gonna do this one, you do that one. I mean, you guys you guys got 2nd and 3rd last year at the games, right?
No, 2nd and 4th.
Oh,
But Jason's only as good as last competition. 3rd for this man on earth.
Games 2.0. What we do is we take both the comps. You add your results, and then that is your how fit you are against
So
the world.
we're
So
tied.
We're tied.
7th.
And he has a better finish, so he wins the tiebreaker.
Yeah. So do you remember when they did the LCQ?
Mm-hmm.
So the first year, I did it after Jason prayed on my downfall with the D-ball, episode 1. I did the LCQ, and the way it
they
worked.
had like the 4-rep deadlift in that one, huh?
Yeah.
Wasn't that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I did West Coast. We finish on a Sunday. And then I have the following week to rest, and then the next weekend is LCQ. So like took 4 days off, ramped up for 3 days, and then back at it. And after missing the games by 1 spot, it's like, where do you think I want to be? Not at the gym.
Yeah.
The workouts come out, 4-rep deadlift. PR my deadlift, I hit 508 for 4.
Nice.
16th out of 20. Like, I PR'd my 1-rep max. The other one I remember was the 100 burpees to the wall.
Oh yeah.
So a 1-foot target on the wall. And I did it, and I was 501. And I was like, that's not good enough. So did that Saturday night, redo Sunday morning. Within 12 hours of each other, 4:59. 2 seconds.
Why did you think you were going to shave that much time off?
I just had heard other people were doing it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it again.
How did it end up?
I had done all the other workouts already, and it was like just a last-ditch effort to like try. I finished like 12th or something. Like it wasn't, but the best part was we did the last 2 workouts, and me and Matt look at each other because he came out to Utah.
Yeah.
And we're like, I think that's a 4th and a 5th probably. I think we got the job done. Leaderboard comes up, and like I'm not even on like the first section. I have to like scroll. I was like, well, at least I wasn't third. Like at least it wasn't even close. But
Taylor got 3rd that year.
yeah, he was close.
Maybe like
I forgot
one.
about that.
How many points?
It was just because of the deadlift. He did like really well in all 3 workouts, and
Yeah, he
the
did.
deadlift was terrible. I don't mean like, but no, yeah, actually it was. I think it was like 460 or something. But yeah, that's what cost him that year. And then the following year, Fee and James did the LCQ down in Naples. And it's like, I'm just glad I'm not doing that. So
Yeah.
anyways, I hope that that's not where I end up.
Yeah, no, 100%. Have you guys had any like good retest stories, like having to do one like back to back, like for like open or anything like that? Like I remember
I did my first open back to back. There was a dumbbell snatch and box jump up, burpee box jump overs, 15.1 maybe.
That was 17.
No, 17. Yeah.
17.1.
Yep.
I remember, I think watching Rich Froning do it.
No, it was Pat and Brent.
No. I'm saying I watched a video of Rich doing
I
it.
was like Pat and Brent were the open announcement. I remember.
I watched him do it, and I definitely watched those guys do it. And I said, I'm going to do box clears because I can do this better.
I could do this better.
So I get through 40, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I was in a competition with a friend, my pastor at the time, and he was like, we were chirping at each other, and he's actually super fit. So he had been doing CrossFit for years, and this was like my first year. And I was like, dude, there's no way you're going to beat me. This is like coming off football as well. And actually, this is before football. This is graduation after I graduated high school. And so I did the first part, got through 40, quit because I did box clears. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to do them the normal way. And I think I was like 17 minutes. And then I came back. This was on Monday night before we had to get them in. I went and ate a banana and some peanut butter and came back and did it again for the third time. And I cut off like 2.5 minutes and I beat him. I don't know how, but I remember sitting, like laying down next to the toilet at the gym like I'm about to throw up. And yeah, it was the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
But
I always think it's wild when like people like always talk about like fitness and like during the open, like how to get faster, like whatever it is. But like, I always think it's so interesting that like people will like do a workout on Friday and then redo it on Sunday or Monday, and they'll shave like 2.5 minutes off their time. It's like, guys, like you didn't get fitter in like 2 days. You just like had a better plan. And I think people just like don't understand that and like don't take time to like really think about it. But it's like, I think that was like the biggest thing for me going from 2019 to 2020. Like I met Adam. We like, obviously I had like a ways to go like in the fitness department, but he just like taught me how to like do CrossFit as a sport and like think about the strategy and all the other things that go on top of it besides just being fit. And like the progress that I made in that like first like 4 to 6 months was crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Cause like you just like, my story with Adam, it was wild. Like it was 2019 and I had another coach at the time, and I forgot if it was 19.2 maybe, but it was the single dumbbell overhead walking lunge. And then you had the 50 box step ups, and then 50 strict handstand push ups, and then like 100 foot or 200 foot handstand walk. You remember that one?
I do. Yeah. I
like did it, and like I'm still like a nobody in CrossFit. Like I think my best open finish was like 420th. I was the year before, and then this year like I've never had a top 100 finish or anything like that. And I like hit that workout. It was like a decent workout for me at the time. I like sent the video to Adam, sent it to like my other coach. My other coach at the time like sent back like a sticky note, and it was pretty much like don't transition as much with like the dumbbell on your lunges, like do your step ups faster, bigger sets on the handstand push ups, like
here you go.
Go again, you know? And like I have been messaging Adam for like a month, pretty much trying to convince him to be my coach because he was not super open to it in the beginning. And he like kept pushing off. He's like, hey man, like it's not in a good time, like it's during the open, like stick with the other coach, like he probably knows better, like I don't want to like interfere with things, which was very smart of him. He was awesome. But he's like, I'll help you out if I think I can. And I remember I was bowling for some reason and I get a phone call from him, and I knew he wanted to talk about the like the workout, and I was like, oh guys, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. and I like step out. I was like outside for 45 minutes talking to him about my workout.
About one
like,
workout, yeah.
Yeah, and he like had all my splits, like every time I broke, like everything calculated out, like on a whole binder paper. He sent it to me, talked me through it. He's like, once you get to the handstand push-ups, you're going to set up your phone. You're going to do 5 sets of 5, 4 sets of 4, 3 sets of 3. You're going to do it on an 11-second timer. And like this, everything was so dialed. And I like hit the workout again. I was getting confused on my step ups. He's like, have someone stand in front of you and just have them like put your hand out, like alternate, so you know what leg to step up with every time, because they had to be alternating. Wow. And just did like a bunch of things like that. I redid the workout. I shaved like almost a minute off my time in that workout, which was like really good. Yeah. And I got like 8th or 10th worldwide in that workout. And I've never had like a top 100 finish. And I was like,
that's legit.
Oh, I like this.
I like what you did.
I was like, this is awesome. And like ever since, I've been like all in with Adam, just like being able to talk with him and strategize, and he cares so much. It's been like next level. But
I would definitely say
that's how he prepares for a workout. You know?
Yeah. I would definitely say if you're doing the Open this year, or it's your first Open, let's all set a goal together that we're going to go into workouts with a game plan. And we're going to pace, and we're going to have a good idea of where we're at so we can enjoy the workout even more. And if it's a 20-minute AMRAP, we don't have to hurt for 15 minutes. One of my favorite stories is someone last year during the Open. It's the thruster chest to bar, thruster bar muscle up piece. And there's a 1-minute rest, 5 rounds of each. And someone in the affiliate comes up to a coach and was like, hey, how do you think I should pace this? That's a great question to ask a coach, by the way. How do you think I should pace this? And the coach responds and says, oh, well, I think you should break it up here and here each round, and you should do a round every X amount of time. And what was the time cap on that one? Do you guys remember?
Which one?
The thruster pull chest to bar.
The one he's talking about.
Well, I know, but like, there's been a lot
like last year, the two-parter.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll call it 12 minutes for sake of the story. He's like, okay, I think you should do a round.
It was 11.
11? Okay. I think you should do a round every 2 minutes on the first part. And they look at him and they say, well, how will I have any time to do any bar muscle ups? He says, you won't. You're not going to get there. Whether you go fast at the beginning or fast in the middle or at the end, or you pace it out, you're going to get the same score. So let's give yourself a shot with 30 seconds left, not blowing up, to get a bar muscle up. And this, I don't know. I don't even know if this person had a bar muscle up in the first place. So it's like, hey, let's set smart goals, get your best score, place as high as you can on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
But amen to that.
Yeah. No, that's fun. I mean, I think every time like you do a workout, like especially AMRAPs and stuff, like take the time to think about like how many rounds is like possible and like what you think you can do, because it's like it makes it a lot better. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is a 15-minute AMRAP, like I might get like 8 to 10 rounds here. So like when you're doing round 1, you can pace that out and be like, oh, can I hold this pace 8 more times? Like, you kind of got to like feel it out, because sometimes I think people just go into workouts, they start so fast and then just like blowing up because they had no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
or they don't think about it.
Yeah, they just don't think about it.
Like, it's so easy just to do a round or two before the workout.
That's a great idea right there.
There we go.
But then
he's thinking with his brain now.
But then I don't want to hear like, oh, but I felt so good in the beginning.
Then you're like,
we all do.
You go out of pace knowing you have 10 more rounds, and then you ask yourself, okay, I want to be feeling the best. I want to feel better going into the last round than I am into these rounds. So how can I set myself up the best controlling these 2 rounds? So coming off these 2 rounds, do I need to, throttle back a little bit, speed up, and then go off there? I love when I just see people just, touch a few reps at everything, and they're just like, all right, I'm ready.
Yep, here we go.
Heart rate's not high, and then they start the workout, and they're just in complete shock the first round, and they're like, what is happening?
I mean, everyone knows that person. I mean, you guys know Daniel, and he comes and works out all the time.
He just sends it.
Yeah, he doesn't warm up. He's like one of those guys that comes in the gym just...
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Dude, there was a guy.
He's getting better. I give him heck every single time, but
you're going to regret this so much when you're 50 years old.
Yeah. One of the guys at my gym back home when I was there for Christmas, I was working out, doing my lifting, and he walks in. I was like, oh, you going to hit a workout? He's like, yeah, I got a long one going with some heavy clean and jerks. And he walks in, pulls out a bar, and throws 135 on, and does 2 reps, 185. And I'm like, wow, your coat's still on. Like, you didn't even, like, you set your bag down and you got to work. So
That's great. Adam used to, he was not known as like the strong athlete, but like he always wanted to make sure like he's got a 405 squat in like the bank whenever. And he said he used to like warm up and then he would just do 135, 225, 315, 405. Got it.
it's impressive.
Remember you tell me he used to do that all the time. And then he's a good runner, but he said he's always been like super cut, jacked, obviously insanely fit, been to the games 10 times. But I think one of the years like is like not New Year's resolution, but he's like he would drink a milkshake like every single night just so he can like keep his weight up. Cause like just crazy stories.
Do you guys know Nate Ackerman?
I know the name. Who is he?
He was with Brute down in Naples, and then he went up to Mayhem with Dom. I don't think he's really doing much right now, but he was trying to get stronger and put on some weight, and that's when Fat Nate came. And he would take 2 pints of Ben and Jerry's and leave them on the counter for like 2 hours,
milk?
And he would just drink it before bed.
Oh my gosh.
And let me tell you, that boy got strong. He got very strong.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Well, what about you guys?
My first coach told me that he would wake up in the middle of the night and eat 2 peanut butter jelly sandwiches. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. And I think I did try it one time, and I like set my alarm. This was like in like college. I set my alarm, it rolls around. I'm like, I'm not getting up.
What am I doing?
Nah. I came from like the sport that's like the exact opposite of that, is like when you wake up at like 2 a.m. to like spit in a cup for a bit, or like go like on like a run or something like that to like lose weight, or like not eat. Like it was crazy. Like I mean, I remember I was like, in an hour I can spit a pound.
That's legit.
Like just like
wild.
Jolly Ranchers, spitting in a bottle. Like I can get it down. Like if I have an hour to go to weigh-ins, like I can get a pound out in like an hour.
So would you'd use Jolly Ranchers to like
because
because
if you just keep spitting, your mouth gets dry. But if you use Jolly Ranchers, your mouth like always has saliva, so you can spit more.
And it makes sure you're not hungry.
Yeah, dude. And I remember like I would go like all day, not eat, and then I started figuring out like I thought I was like the smartest guy alive because like it couldn't eat, but I was like thirsty, but you couldn't drink that much because your body's so deprived that like anything you put in it, it just retains. So you just like step on the scale with food and be like, okay, that's like 1/4 pound.
And then you'd eat it.
Yeah. Like that's like that was wrestling. I would
scale.
make like Pedialyte popsicles. Because like Pedialyte has like all the nutrition, I'd make popsicles of it so it would last longer instead of just like drinking it. I'd have a popsicle that I would like suck on and bite little chunks off of. Yeah, like it was crazy. And like I always go back and think about it. I was like, dude, I wrestled for 8 years. I never once like thought about like energy and like food. Like it just like that. Like it didn't ever like cross my mind.
Why
that,
am I
like,
so
oh, it doesn't
tired?
matter. Like I just need to make the weight and I'll be fine. I'll wrestle. Whatever. Like it was never like, oh, dude, I haven't eaten in like 36 hours. I'm not gonna have energy to wrestle like 8 matches this weekend. like none of that was ever talked about, never discussed, like anything. It was just like crazy to think about like where we're at now and like how much that matters, especially in a competition weekend, like with fueling and stuff. It's like all I think about, and that's all I'm trying to focus on is to get like food down.
Yeah.
So you have like energy to go, which is just like it's so backwards. But with you guys, I mean, you guys are. I mean, not in like a bad way, but you guys, I feel like CrossFit athletes are getting bigger.
Say it.
You guys,
Big bone.
I'm actually getting lighter.
Well, I mean, but my point being is you guys were at like one of the bigger athletes in the field. Because I feel like when like Matt and Rich and them were around, like stereotypical, like they'd like, if you want to win the games, you need to be between 5'8" and 5'10" and like 190 to 195. And like, that was just kind of like the mold of like what kind of people thought. And now we got like you guys and like Brent and Roman and like all these guys that are like,
I mean, to be fair, no one like us has won the games yet. So I mean,
but you guys are like top
James.
5, like fittest guys. James.
Actually, James. Sorry. I was thinking. I was not thinking, dude. You're reading too much into that.
But yeah, so like, what do you guys?
I love you, James.
What do you guys like? Do you guys like? Is that like a conscious thing about like your guys' weight? Because like when I wrestle, I weighed myself every day. I knew exactly where I was, how much I fluctuated overnight. Now for me, like it's mostly just about like fueling, and like I use like the scale as like a. When things are going really good, I hop on the scale to kind of see where I'm at and be like, oh man, I'm feeling really good right now. This is where I'm at. Or when things are really, really bad, I'm like, all right, I want to like kind of see if I'm like heavy or light or kind of where I'm at. Like, do you guys like try to stay like under a certain weight, or is that not anything you guys ever think about?
So the good news is for Jason, he found this incredible nutrition coach that I've been working with for 7 years. Just happened to stumble upon her. It's crazy how that works out.
It's like, what's her name?
Tell everybody. What's her name? Tell everybody like the jump rope joke.
Oh yeah. So he texts me. So we all have chili goats, but I got a chili goat. This is the text Jason sends me. You get a chili goat, I get a chili goat. You get this jump rope, I get this jump rope. You have this nutrition coach, I have that nutrition coach. So if we refer back to the notebook in the last video, he wasn't joking.
Mayhem, you do mayhem.
Literally the exact same. And here we are, brute athletes.
Damn, that is so true.
Anyways, yes,
Jenny's dope. Yeah, Jenny's amazing.
Jenny is great. There is a weight. Typically, I've always been like 230 at competitions.
That's crazy.
And then the first time I was anything different was at Rogue this year, and I was 220. And I took a month off after the games and basically did not eat much at all. And so I basically got down to like 215, 217, and then I just never like got back up to 230. So I like got back on my like eating routine, but I just never ate extra to get me back up to like 230 basically. So I've always just been at 220, 222. Sometimes I feel a little bloated, be 224 sometimes. I eat a lot of bread. And so whenever I get on a scale now, whenever I see 224, I'm like, ooh, gotta get back to 221, 220.
I feel like
we're gonna have some treats at Wadapalooza.
Oh yeah, bringing down those cinnamon rolls. Dude, I ate one the other day, and she said this batch that that we're bringing down. For those of you guys don't know.
First off, I was gonna say, say it.
So my wife Corinne sells sourdough, and one of her best selling products, and in my opinion also the best thing she makes is cinnamon rolls. And Jason's been begging for them on every story she posts.
I have. Hey,
yep.
I'm not ashamed of that.
I'm flexing it. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
You just
no.
I wasn't
coming at you. I understand. I eat one
Jason's asking for them on every story she posts.
Yeah, and so Jason's not going to get any because it's going to fuel Team Go Wad. But anyway, those are going to be incredible. I have those ready for the Airbnb.
I don't know if you guys can see this, if this is going to
work.
Oh, yeah. To Dallas, but tell me
like,
that doesn't look freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And then the whole back row is just like regular sourdough, or I think there's some chocolate loaves. Those ones are good.
Yeah. Anyways, shout out to Corinne.
Yeah.
Shout out Corinne. Shout out Corinne.
But, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I could hover around 225 pretty naturally, but I feel better about 218. And then I just use my macros. Like, I know what numbers I should hit based on volume of training. And so, like, something I noticed the other day, like, what are you laughing at?
You ate way over your macros.
It's not true, bro. It's not true. But here's the thing. If I'm sitting up heavier and I'm more sore, if I add carbs in, sometimes my weight will come down. So it's like sometimes under-eating can be a problem, even though Jason doesn't think.
He overeats.
I weigh everything.
He's been at my house plenty of times, and he's supposed to be eating less than me, and he eats like 8 more meals than me, bro.
I weigh it all.
I don't understand. We'll eat dinner. He'll get seconds. We'll eat Frosted Flakes. He'll get seconds of that, and then he'll come back for
sometimes I splurge.
A cinnamon bun.
All right. Well, at the house in Miami, we'll both weigh our food and compare it.
I don't know two other competitors that are so in sync like you guys. Same nutritionist, same competition, same jump rope, same chili goat.
I don't know
same
how we got
nutrition
here.
coast. You guys eat the same food. You know his macros. He knows your macros. Oh, Lord.
I tried not to send him Jenny's phone number for a while. I'm pretty sure he asked, he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a nutrition coach. Like, who do you work with?" And I was like, "I'm not going to answer this."
I think you said you can have anything, but you cannot have her.
Yeah, I said say that.
But
I do have one more topic because it is my show. I was scrolling on Instagram and I came upon a conspiracy theory page. And I happened to see that Justin had liked this video. I was like, this is perfect.
I'm not into conspiracy theories, guys.
So today's topic is the moon landing.
Wow.
Because
It's crazy.
I can be convinced either way so quickly.
100%.
Because, I've done my due diligence on the fake side. I've listened to Joe Rogan.
Is the fake side that they landed on the moon? Or
That's a great point. That's a great point that they faked the moon landing. And then I listen over here. I got Neil deGrasse Tyson on Joe Rogan saying it's real. And he's saying all these things that make complete sense as to why it did actually happen.
But who was recording the landing?
Yes.
Why was the flag blowing? There's no wind.
That's all
Honestly,
I'm saying.
though, I love conspiracy theories. I wouldn't say there's any one that I fully believe in, but I like believing in something and then it challenging what I believe in, and then you're trying to figure out wait, do I have faith in what I believe in, or am I gonna believe this other thing? Because you get convinced, you watch one video on one thing and you're like,
whoa,
this is it, this is truth, and then you watch another video and you're just like, well, that's a lot of good points too. You keep going back and forth, and I think that's the part that I like about it. I would never tell anybody that we didn't go to the moon, but
I think I would.
Hey. I
might be there.
But dude, it's crazy because when you do think when you go back and look at it, there's certain things that just don't make sense. And I do. Jason, tell them about our walk in Scotland.
All we did was talk about ancient history, and Justin has been brainwashed by a Netflix documentary to think that it was all not what you were taught in elementary school.
That's not fair. I watched Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, and it was wild. I mean,
I actually watched it.
Did you?
I watched 2 episodes. I couldn't keep watching it.
You didn't hook you?
No.
Dang.
I will say one of my favorite conspiracies, though.
No,
one of my favorite
I will,
conspiracies is the pyramid, though.
I was just gonna say that, dude.
Yeah,
how did they build the pyramids?
That's my favorite. Do you know what's crazy? Is there's something 2 million blocks. I forgot how many it is. It's an insane amount of blocks. And if you put a block in place every 5 minutes, it would have took 100 and something years.
Yeah.
I forgot what the math is on it. Dallas, you're gonna have to check. But just things like that where I'm not saying fucking aliens built them or anything like that.
But maybe.
that.
Just the thought of if you believe that
I might be there.
I might be there.
if the people just that built it, they had to do that. Put a block in place every 5 minutes. And that's just wild to think about.
You told me a wild stat, the blocks were how far away?
So, most of the blocks that are used for the pyramid are from a quarry that's 800 meters away. It's not far, maybe a mile, I'm not sure. It's not far at all, but there's these big blocks that are anywhere between 50 to 100 tons, and they're from
still move
they're 550 miles away, and they're these big granite slabs. I think there's 13 of them or something above the King's Chamber, and they're from this quarry that's 550 miles away, and they got them there and put them in the pyramid. And this is no conspiracy or anything like that. That's just fact. And I think it's just really interesting that we have no idea how they got them there. And I think just stuff like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And like every block of the pyramid is individually built to like fit its spot. So it's not like they had a place where they just like made a million stones. Like every stone was brought and then cut and placed for its spot.
Actually,
So there's not any stone that's the same as another. And just like stats like that are just like crazy. Cause like I feel like when I like learned about like Egyptian history and like things like that, like a lot of that stuff.
It was like they were just there. They just happened to
just
be there.
and it wasn't really like talked about or anything like that.
Like,
So like,
no, it's the greatest archaeological thing ever.
It's
ever.
crazy. Yeah, dude, I could talk about it forever. Like the Sphinx, I think is crazy. Yeah. Ellie just walked in. She has to listen to me talk about conspiracy theories all the time. She loves
Lucky
it.
girl.
Yeah, I know. But like the Sphinx is crazy because like the Sphinx is like it's like bedrock, and they carved it like down and out of the it wasn't like a big rock that they like shimmied away. They had to like take out all of it. So like the Sphinx is in like a hole, and it was covered with sand, and when it was discovered, just the head was showing. So that's why like the head is a lot more like eroded than the body, because it was like like in the weather, whereas like the rest of the body was like covered by sand. But like I think what's crazy when you think about the Sphinx is that like the head is way smaller than the body, and like the Egyptians did everything like spot on, like they're known for being like very precise. But like when you look at the Sphinx, the head is way smaller than the body. Like it doesn't make sense. So this is a conspiracy theory.
Aliens.
Is that it looks like a lion, right? Like the whole body, but as a man head, like the conspiracy theorists say that it was a lion, like a full lion, but just the head was shown, and it was eroded over like thousands and thousands of years. The Egyptians came, they saw it. Some king was like, they unburied it, they found it, and then the king was like, well, the head's all messed up, the body's good, just chip away the head and make it my face. And like that's what the Sphinx is. But like history says that like they made it the way that it looks right now. But
basically,
so there was two people that adjusted it.
Basically, what Justin is saying is that the Egyptians showed up and all of this was already there.
No, I'm just saying the Sphinx. Just saying the Sphinx right now. But
right now.
They said, but they
right now.
But they say like the Sphinx, it points at the constellation Leo, and if you go back like 20,000 years, it would be pointing directly at that constellation. This is the conspiracy theory. So the people think that the Sphinx is a lot older than it is, because I think they only say it's like 6,000 or 7,000, like 6,000 years old or something like that.
Dang.
That's my conspiracy
I gotta
theory.
go watch that.
It's crazy. But anyways, the Ancient Apocalypse one is just this guy. He goes to all these different ancient like buildings, and just like he gives his interpretation of the facts, and he tries to create this narrative about our history is a lot older than we say it is, and he thinks there was an ancient civilization that was once there and it was lost 11,000 years ago.
Interesting.
But it's really cool just to like see.
I'm a new creationist, and the world's not that old.
It's just really cool to see all these places, because there's so many places where I was just like, dang, I didn't even know that was a place. Like there's a place in Peru, Machu Picchu, and I'm like, I'm taking a vacation there because that looks freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
And you get to see like this old like city that was built on top of a mountain, like in the middle of nowhere. It's crazy. Have you seen pictures of Machu Picchu?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
like
pretty insane.
just like seeing like these old places like that. I think it's just interesting to like see old history. That's what gets my mind off CrossFit.
So whenever we've been in like the UK or Europe or whatever, like we went to Switzerland 2 years ago now, and like castles, I can sit in a castle and just like close my eyes for hours. I can just
Feel
think
like a king.
Just think.
Dude, that castle that
I
we
want to be a
went
knight.
to and that castle we went to in Scotland was insane.
Unreal,
dude.
Like it was like beautiful and like massive.
But dude, like that's not even that old compared to like pyramids and shit. And when you're in it, you're just like, dude, these people, like, how did they live? What was their
people
like,
are just getting stabbed all over the place.
Yeah, I just feel like, and they talk about like, did you like read about how like
the
it
dungeon?
fell like,
Or
well,
no.
like. Well, yeah, the dungeon was crazy. They had
that
like
was
200 people in there for like a month in this like room that was big enough for like 10 people.
200
they had
people?
like 200
Exactly. Standing.
and like just standing in their own waste. It was crazy to like go through. You guys see like the old kitchens and the workshops. It was crazy. But we talked to the groundskeeper there, and they were saying that like all the castles that are like ruined, like all the like they don't have roofs or anything, that they like denounced the king, or like they didn't say like they like worship the king. So then the king sent everyone and just like messed up all those castles that like didn't support them.
Oh.
And that's why a lot of the ruins in like Scotland are all messed up.
Because
And the ones that are preserved are the ones that supported the crown.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Justin,
History,
he's going to
man.
be a history teacher. of true history. True. Okay, the other one. This one doesn't take much. There's not much to talk about with this one, but I get a lot of flat Earth ones on mine. That's not one I'm gonna go saying. Like that one, I draw the line hard. But
if you believe the Earth is flat, I mean that's like it's real hard for me to.
Yeah, no. But like you said, when you try and
I was on a plane, and you know how on your seat you could basically see the screen and like the direction of the flight.
Yeah.
Well, I was on a flight, and this was after a conversation I had about flat Earth, and the plane was going around to this destination. Like it had a little curve to it. And I was like, why are we going around? Why can't we just shoot across this spot right here and be there? And they said because the Earth is not flat.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's exactly it.
I can't explain any more about that, but
Yeah.
They said that.
Time zones. Like if the Earth was flat, everyone would be light at the same time.
Jason, how many time zones are there?
There are 12.
There are 24.
Hey, half.
Dude, Australia has half-hour time zones.
Yeah, that's wild. I saw it. Then they have them. It's weirdly shaped, right?
Yeah, it's just all over the place.
Like it's
so weird.
some of it's like north and south, where we're all like split east and west.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. But have you seen the video of
Y'all
people,
actually knew there was 24?
Yeah, that's where like the international date line, which is also an interesting.
Is that a common like thing to know?
Well, I just think it's like super extremely obvious, but no one knows it. Like it's something that everyone like if you really just think about it for a second. Oh yeah, because like if there was 12, like it's just like where are we skipping hours? You know,
Stops at noon.
Yeah. Anyway, but the video, these people spend all this money. These flat earthers spend all this money to prove that the Earth is flat, and they set up all these things with this laser and all this stuff, and it's time for it to go, and they're on like radios and like, all right,
I've seen this
video. Turn it on. They're like, okay,
it's on.
It's on. They just proved the Earth was round.
they're like, can you raise it like 8 feet above your head? And they do it, and he sees the light.
Yeah. It's like the perfect curvature of exactly.
It's like the perfect. I think like an example, like if you're not into conspiracy theories, but you like thinking. Have you like seen like the debate that went like viral a long time ago about like how many holes does a straw have?
Yeah.
Jason, how many holes does a straw have?
2.
Okay, so like your wedding ring, how many holes does that have?
1.
It's just a short straw.
It's just a short straw.
No, it's not.
So then how many holes does like a hole in the ground? Like that would be 1, right?
That would be a ditch.
It's not a hole.
It's no longer a hole.
It's not a hole. But like there's things like that where you think about it and then you think about like
a hole has to have an end. What?
What do you mean?
This is
It has to have an
bro.
end.
A hole?
So like
Hey, what about that
you have a
video
piece of,
that you
Go.
when you were walking out to your truck out of your house and your foot fell in that hole? That was a hole, right?
That was a ditch.
It was a hole.
Why would that be a hole?
Why would it not be a hole?
What is a hole? What are we defining as a hole?
I guess that's a better question.
that's the point of the argument. It's like it's really hard to define a hole.
Well, a straw I could see on the other side of that hole. I could see through the ring that you call a hole. I can't see through a ditch.
So you think a hole is something that has to pass like all the way through something?
So
Yes, I just can't. Yes.
So is like a cup holder? Is that just a ditch?
It's not a hole.
Is it a ditch?
What's another word for a ditch? I wouldn't say my truck has 2 ditches in it. It was a cup holder was made out of the mind through a ditch, so that someone saw a ditch and said, you know what,
I could put a cup in that.
I could put a cup in that.
Anyways, I think that is like a cool way to think about it. Oh, Lordy. Anyways, I think it's interesting because you look at like a bowl, like
That's a ditch.
Would that be a hole? And then if you go like all the way
That's
down
not
to like
a hole, dude. You're gonna call that a hole?
well, I'm just talking about like if you have like
That's
I
just
would
a-
consider
that's just
if you took a shovel and you dug 2 feet down by 1 foot wide, I would say that's a hole.
I agree.
No.
No.
I would 100% consider that a hole. Dallas.
Okay, so what if you
need help out here?
We're just gonna look at what a
What
hole
if you
is.
what if you put a railroad tie? What if you put a railroad tie 6 inches into the ground and you pull it out? What's that? Jason, that's a question for you.
This is a hole.
So answer my question. You take a railroad tie and you put it 6 inches into the ground. Or not a railroad tie, rebar. That's what I'm thinking of. You take rebar, you stick it in the ground, 6 inches, and you take it out. What's left? A ditch?
We already came over this.
I'm just asking.
If you can't see through
I think you're the only person in the world that if you took a shovel outside and you dug 2 feet down by 1 foot wide and be like, that's a ditch. Like
Are you
that's a
serious?
hole.
Are you
That's a
serious?
hole. Have you heard of like a post hole digger?
You think that if you dug a shovel into the ground and you asked the entire world, more people would say it's a hole than a ditch?
Yes.
Yes. 1,000%.
No chance.
1,000,000%. They have postal, like if you're going to build a fence, you would dig down and you would say like, I just dug a hole to put this fence post in. You would not be, I just dug a ditch to put this fence post in. 1,000%.
Because people don't know the difference.
Between a ditch and a hole
They don't know the definition difference.
of a hole.
Yeah.
There's a hole, like there can be a hole in the ground. That's a very common saying.
That's very, very common. I'm looking up the definition of a hole.
There is a hole in Jason's logic.
A hollow place in a solid body or surface.
So that takes away
He
the.
dug out a small
Exactly.
hole in the snow.
Exactly.
So that would take out the argument of like a bowl. A bowl is not a hole because if a bowl was, if you had like if you had like a 6-inch block of wood and you put a bowl into it, that would become a hole because of the solid surface, right?
I don't know, man. I think a straw would have 2 holes, but then like this
straw.
cup, like I would say like that's a hole in the lid.
And if you took off the lid, the cup would still have
that
a
is
hole.
that is a hole in the lid.
Okay, now take off
It is a hole in the lid. Is this a hole in like the cup? Like if this was all one solid piece and you couldn't remove the lid, would that be a hole or no? Because it's technically a bottom in it.
No, you could see through it.
Yeah, but you can see the
wait.
bottom.
You're saying if it's one part,
Yeah.
then it wouldn't be a hole.
It's a ditch.
What would you call this? A ditch?
No, it's just a cutout, dude. There's other words.
Anyways, I think we just call the podcast here and we
it's
put up
over.
a freaking poll and say, I don't know. I don't even know how you even word that.
Is it a hole in the ground or is it a ditch in the ground?
Yeah.
Comment
I say
below.
I just say we find a picture of a hole that me and Dallin think is a hole, like a hole in the ground. Like if you dig a fence post, and then we'll just post that picture, and then we'll have 2 options: ditch or hole.
Dude, there's so many words I could use instead of just
Let's hear them. Just rattle a couple off.
trench,
That's
a
long.
channel,
That's also long.
a drain.
A drain is a hole, I think.
Yeah, I would say
No.
those.
Did you look
I
up
just keep on-
Did you
I
look
can
up
just keep on
synonyms? Did you wait? Did you look up synonyms for hole because it would then define itself as a hole?
No, a ditch.
Synonyms for a
You
ditch.
look up synonyms for ditch.
Yeah,
See,
because you're just saying what is
I
this
think-
on a cup,
I
and
think-
I'm like, okay, I don't have to use the word ditch for it to be the same thing.
I think like a trench and a ditch are similar, where it's like a longer,
Dallin, hey,
Just saying. That's
You're
all I'm
wrong.
saying.
Maybe you two don't agree on everything.
Yeah.
You know?
you're
You
wrong,
finally
and
found a
that's
difference
okay.
between
And
you
that's you're wrong, and that's okay.
You guys have the same nutritionist, same chili goat, same double unders.
Mine are
Same
faster.
double
Just,
unders. I'm
or
faster. I just
same
started-
jump rope.
I'm
Same
faster.
jump rope, just different views on holes. That's the difference between Jason and Dallin.
Pause.
Pause. Okay.
All right, Dallin.
All right, you guys.
The outro.
Thank you for listening. Check out my new YouTube video that's coming out tomorrow. When this comes out, and then the tomorrow
you
after
have
that.
another video?
Wadapalooza Prep coming out Wednesday. I imagine this
Hey,
will come out
Wadapalooza,
Tuesday.
hey, like and subscribe on my YouTube. I have a Montreal video coming out.
Nice. Everyone go like and subscribe everywhere. Just
And just
everywhere.
everywhere. But for reals, though, during Miami, we're going to be doing a live podcast. I think, what days, Dallas? Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Drop a comment, hole or ditch.
Yes. Comment, hole, or ditch. But we're going to be going live on my channel throughout Wadapalooza every evening. So make sure you guys are hopping on that. We'll try to answer some of your guys' questions. Make sure you guys are watching the live stream. And for those of you guys that are there, hop on our channel. Let us know any questions you guys want answered or anything like that. But that's about it. We head out. Today's Monday. We head out Wednesday. So see you guys in like 2 days.
Sick.
See you guys there.
Bye, guys.
Peace.